Medtronic is a US-based medtech company that has had great success creating highly advanced technology used in healthcare all over the world. Currently, Medtronic operates in 150 countries, bringing the most innovative medical equipment to patients. In this report, we'll discuss how the external environment affects Medtronic, an industry analysis of medtech industry, Medtronic's resources and capability, Medtronic's global strategy, and finally, steps Medtronic should take to stay competitive. Now let's take a closer look at the external environment Medtronic operates in. Medtronic is a part of a highly regulated global healthcare industry where external factors have a strong impact on its strategy and performance. To analyze this, we use the PASTEL framework, which looks at political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors. Starting with political factors, regulation is very important. Medtronic depends on approval from agencies like the FDA, and healthcare policies directly affect pricing and demand. From an economic standpoint, hospitals often face budget constraints which can delay purchasing decisions. At the same time, inflation and supply chain issues can increase costs. On the social side, there are strong growth drivers. Aging population and rising chronic disease continue to increase demand for the medical devices. Technologically, the industry is evolving quickly with innovations like AI and digital health, creating both opportunities and competitive pressure. Environmental and legal factors also play a role, especially with increasing expectations for sustainability and strict compliance requirements. Overall, these external factors create both opportunities and challenges, and Medtronic must continuously adapt to remain competitive.
My name is Srilekha, and I'll be discussing the medical devices industry analysis, mainly focusing on industry structure, key trends, technology and innovation, and the major challenges and opportunities within the industry. First, I'll begin with the industry structure and competitive forces using Porter's five forces framework. The threat of new entrants in the medical devices industry is relatively low because of strict regulatory requirements and high level of capital investment needed to enter the market. Companies must spend significant time and resources on research, testing, and approvals before launching products. The bargaining power of buyers is high since large hospitals and healthcare systems purchase devices in large volumes and have strong negotiating power. Because healthcare organizations also focus heavily on controlling costs, companies must continuously demonstrate value and clinical effectiveness. The bargaining power of suppliers is moderate. Medical device manufacturers rely on specialized components and advanced technologies, especially for electronic and precision based devices. However, large companies like Medtronic are generally able to manage supplier relationships through scale and long term contracts. The threat of substitutes is moderate because in some cases drugs or alternative procedures can replace medical devices depending on the medical condition. In addition, digital health technologies and software-driven healthcare solutions are beginning to compete with traditional devices in certain areas. The intensity of rivalry within the industry is very high. Major companies such as Johnson and Johnson, Abbott, Boston Scientific, Stryker compete strongly through innovation, product quality, clinical outcomes, and market share. Moving to the next slide. Several important trends are shaping the future of medical devices industry. One major trend is the growth of minimal invasive procedures. Patients and healthcare providers increasingly prefer procedures that reduce recovery time, minimize risks, and lower healthcare costs. Another important trend is digital technology and connected devices. Medical devices are becoming part of integrated systems that collect and analyze patient data in real time, supporting remote monitoring and better clinical decision making. The industry is also moving towards value based healthcare models where the focus is more on patient outcomes and cost effectiveness rather than simply the number of procedures performed. Industry consolidation through mergers and acquisitions is another key trend. Larger companies continue acquiring smaller specialized firms to strengthen their technology capabilities and expand their product portfolios. In addition, Personalized medicine is becoming increasingly important with treatments and devices being tailored to individual patient needs and genetic profiles. Now I'll discuss technology and innovation in medtech industry. Industry. Technologies such as robotics, wearable devices, and smart implants are improving surgical precision, supporting continuous patient monitoring, and enabling advanced healthcare management. Software integration is also becoming essential. Modern medical devices increasingly combine hardware with software systems to collect and analyze healthcare data in real time that helps healthcare providers make faster and more informed decisions. The industry is also moving towards data driven and personalized care, where patients' data and analytics are used to create more customized treatment plans and improve patient outcomes. Finally, this industry also faces several important challenges and opportunities. One major challenge is pricing pressure, as healthcare systems aim to reduce costs while still expecting high quality care and innovation. Another challenge is regulatory complexity. Medical device companies must navigate strict approval process and compliance requirements, which can increase development time and cost. Supply chain disruptions have also become a growing concern, especially for electronic components and specialized materials. At the same time, the industry offers strong opportunities for growth. Emerging markets continue to expand as healthcare infrastructure improves in developing economies. Remote patient care and telehealth solutions are also creating opportunities for portable and easy to use medical devices designed for home based healthcare. In addition, personalized medicine continues to create opportunities for more targeted healthcare solutions that improve patient outcomes. That concludes my section on medical devices, industry, environment, and trends. Now, I would like to hand it over to Omar, who will continue with the discussion on Medtronic's resources and capabilities.
Now that we've looked at the broader challenges in our Taha, and I'll be covering the resources and capabilities of Medtronic. So now that we've looked at the broader challenges and opportunities in the medical device industry, the next question is, what does Medtronic already have internally that helps it compete in this environment? This is where we move into Medtronic's resources. From a resource-based perspective, Medtronic's advantage comes from a combination of tangible and intangible assets that are difficult for competitors to copy all at once. So first, Medtronic has strong technological infrastructure and a major commitment to research and development. This is especially important because the medical device industry is constantly changing. Earlier in the presentation, we discussed trends like robotics, artificial intelligence, digital health, remote monitoring, and data analytics. For Medtronic, continued investment in R&D is not just something that supports growth. It is necessary for staying competitive in an industry where technology, clinical outcomes, and provider trust are central to success. Secondly, Medtronic benefits from a skilled workforce with specialized clinical knowledge. This is a really important point because medical devices are not sold like ordinary consumer products. Hospital physicians and healthcare systems need to trust that these products are safe, effective, and can be properly used in real clinical settings. So Medtronic's clinically trained employees and representatives help connect the company's technology to the healthcare professionals who actually use it. That makes implementation smoother and also helps Medtronic better understand patient and provider needs. Another major resource is Medtronic's global reputation. In healthcare, brand trust matters a lot because purchasing decisions can directly affect patient safety and outcomes. And then a hospital is not just buying equipment, it's investing in a product that providers will rely on during patient care. So Medtronic has built a reputation for reliability, quality, and patient-centered innovation, which strengthens its relationships with hospitals and healthcare systems. Medtronic's global presence and distribution network also give it a major advantage. The company operates across many markets, which allows it to diversify revenue and reduce dependence on one specific country or region. This is especially helpful as emerging markets continue to expand healthcare access and create new demand for medical devices. Having a strong global footprint also means Medtronic is better positioned to respond to different healthcare needs across different markets. Lastly, Medtronic has strong regulatory expertise. Because this industry is so highly regulated, being able to navigate FDA approvals and international regulatory requirements is a major strategic resource. Regulation can slow down product launches and create barriers for smaller competitors, but Medtronic's experience helps it manage those processes more effectively while maintaining compliance and trust. So overall, Medtronic's resources are not just individual strength; they work together. Its technology, workforce, reputation, and global reach and regulatory experience create a strong foundation for long-term competitiveness. And in an industry where innovation has to be balanced with safety, cost, and regulation, that combination is especially valuable. Medtronic's capabilities show how the company actually turns its strengths into competitive advantage. The first major capability is innovation and commercialization. Medtronic is not only developing advanced medical technologies, but also has the ability to bring those technologies into real healthcare settings. That matters because in medtech, having a good idea is not enough. A company has to move from research and development to testing to regulatory approval to provider adoption and then to patient impact. Medtronic's experience across that full process helps it stay competitive. This also connects back to the industry trends we discussed earlier. As medical devices become more connected, personalized, and data-driven, companies need to do more than simply create new products. They need to prove that these products improve outcomes, fit into clinical workflows, and provide value to healthcare systems that are already under financial pressure. Medtronic's ability to commercialize innovation gives it an advantage here. And secondly, Medtronic has a strong capability in mergers, acquisitions, and alliances. This connects directly to the company's broader strategy. Medtronic does rely heavily on internal R&D, but it also uses acquisitions to bring in new technologies and expand its portfolio. This is especially valuable in a field where smaller companies may develop innovative devices, but may not have the resources, regulatory knowledge, or global distribution network to bring them to market successfully. Medtronic can take those innovations and scale them more effectively. Thirdly, Medtronic has operational and supply chain capabilities. This is important because the company operates globally and medical devices often require specialized components, careful quality control, and reliable delivery. Given the industry challenges mentioned earlier, including supply chain disruptions, inflation, and pricing pressure, operational efficiency becomes a major part of Medtronic's strategy. Strong operations help the company respond to market changes while still meeting the high standards required in healthcare. The fourth capability is customer engagement. Medtronic has long-standing relationships with healthcare providers, and this is a major advantage. Its clinically trained staff can support physicians and healthcare systems, help with product implementation, and create feedback loops that inform future improvements. This also connects to the importance of trust in the medical device industry. Providers are more likely to adopt and continue using products when they feel supported and when they trust the company behind them. When we look at these capabilities through a VRIO lens, Medtronic's advantages are valuable, relatively rare, difficult to imitate, and organized in a way that supports long-term performance. Its R&D, regulatory expertise, brand reputation, global scale, and provider relations are especially powerful because they reinforce one another. A competitor may be able to copy one piece of this, but it is much harder to replicate the full system. So the main takeaway from this slide is that Medtronic's competitive advantage does not come from one single resource or one single capability. It comes from the way the company combines innovation, acquisitions, operations, and customer relations to compete in a highly regulated and fast-moving industry. This sets up for the next part of the presentation, which looks at how Medtronic applies these strengths through its corporate strategy, especially its diversification across multiple medical specialties. Its core capabilities through innovation, commercialization, and strategic partnerships. Let's explore how the company leverages its diversified portfolio to create Synergistic value. Medtronic operates across nearly 20 distinct medical specialties, giving it an exceptionally vast range of products and services. This diversification isn't random, it's strategic. The company deliberately fosters collaboration and innovation across different business units so they can learn from each other and create mutual benefits. What makes this approach powerful is Medtronic's commitment to holistic patient care. Rather than viewing patients through isolated specialties, Medtronic aims to address the whole patient by offering integrated solutions that work together seamlessly. This diversification strategy directly supports Medtronic's core mission to contribute to human welfare through biomedical engineering. As we'll see next, this diversified foundation becomes even more powerful when combined with Medtronic's strategic approach to mergers and acquisitions, which focuses on acquiring innovative companies with complementary technologies that strengthen the overall portfolio across 20 medical specialties. We now turn our attention to how the company actively drives innovation through strategic acquisitions. Slide 12 focuses on Medtronic's tuck-in M&A approach, a deliberate strategy of acquiring smaller companies with advanced complementary technologies. Rather than pursuing massive acquisitions, Medtronic targets early-stage firms possessing cutting-edge innovations that align seamlessly with its existing business units. Once acquired, Medtronic leverages its substantial resources, regulatory expertise, and established infrastructure to support these companies through approvals and market access. This approach enables efficient integration while preserving the entrepreneurial spirit of acquired firms. By combining innovation from smaller players with Medtronic's scale and market reach, the company accelerates time to market and expands its presence across therapeutic areas. As we'll see in our next section, this commitment to innovation extends globally, particularly through Medtronic's strategic hub in South Africa, where the company conducts clinical trials and R&D to test emerging technologies and validate products for worldwide markets. Now let's shift our focus to how Medtronic translates its M&A and alliance strategy into tangible geographic execution. Building on the tuck-in acquisition approach we just discussed, Medtronic has strategically established South Africa as a critical hub for R&D and market access over the past 3 decades. This wholly owned subsidiary model gives Medtronic complete control over brand integrity and allows them to rapidly introduce new products while simultaneously serving a growing healthcare market. The hub strategy is particularly powerful because it serves dual purposes: testing emerging technologies in diabetes management, cardiology, and neurology while addressing South African healthcare demands. This creates a development and innovation testbed that directly informs global regulatory approvals and product validation. However, as we'll explore next, this carefully orchestrated strategy faces mounting external pressures, from political uncertainty affecting healthcare funding to aggressive cost-cutting measures that are reshaping capital equipment sales across the industry. Focus to the external headwinds that threaten even the most strategically sound operations like Medtronic's South African hub. Slide 14 addresses the external challenges that are actively reshaping Medtronic's strategic execution. We're facing 3 critical external pressures. First, political uncertainty. Fluctuations in political landscapes directly impact healthcare funding policies, creating an unpredictable environment for both investment and growth. Second, healthcare cost-cutting is a prevailing trend, with healthcare organizations implementing aggressive cost containment measures that exert real downward pressure on capital equipment sales. Third, and particularly concerning, is the impact on multi-use products. These cost-cutting initiatives disproportionately affect sales of broader solutions as organizations prioritize only essential spending and delay or reduce investments in comprehensive product portfolios. These external challenges demand that Medtronic move beyond defensive positioning. The company needs proactive strategic recommendations, including flexible pricing models, strategic portfolio adjustments, and relationship preservations to navigate these headwinds while maintaining its competitive edge. Identify the external challenges threatening Medtronic's competitive position, and let's turn our attention to how the company can strategically respond. We've seen that political uncertainty, healthcare cost cutting, and pressure on multi-use product sales create a complex landscape. To navigate these headwinds, Medtronic must adopt three critical recommendations. First, implement flexible pricing models that align with reimbursement rates and project utilization. This directly addresses budget constraints facing healthcare organizations. Second, pursue portfolio pruning by strategically focusing on product categories with strong direct payment channels, like pacemakers and diabetic supplies, which prove more resilient during economic uncertainty. Third, and equally important, maintain strong relationships by avoiding staff cuts that could damage long-standing partnerships with healthcare providers. These relationships are essential assets for future growth. Together, these recommendations position Medtronic to weather current challenges while maintaining competitive strength. As we'll see in our final analysis, these strategic moves form the foundation for Medtronic's continued success and innovation in the medical device industry. Healthcare challenges. Let's now consolidate our findings into key takeaways and look ahead to the company's future outlook. Medtronic stands as a formidable presence in the medical device industry, backed by substantial resources, advanced capabilities, and a strategic global footprint. Moving forward, three key strategies will drive continued success. First, adaptive pricing, adjusting pricing models to align with evolving market demands and payer landscapes. Second, strategic portfolio focus, concentrating on high-impact innovations that address critical patient needs. And third, nurturing key relationships by strengthening partnerships with healthcare providers, researchers, and stakeholders. By implementing these strategies, Medtronic is exceptionally well positioned to drive innovation and enhance patient welfare, even amidst the complexities of our modern healthcare environment.